The Bahrain Fort, also known as Qal'at al-Bahrain, is an ancient archaeological site on the northern coast of Bahrain, an island country in the Arabian Gulf. It's one of the most significant historical sites in Bahrain and has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2005. The Bahrain Fort, or Qal'at al-Bahrain, is an archaeological site that consists of the remains of a once grand fortification complex. The fort is situated on the Arabian Gulf coast, which is approximately 5 kilometers west of Bahrain's capital city, Manama. The Bahrain Fort is believed to have been built during the Dilmun civilization, which flourished in the region from about 2100 to 1800 BCE. However, the site has had evidence of human occupation dating back to as early as the third millennium BCE. The fort has also seen later periods of occupation, including during the Islamic era. The fort is strategically positioned atop a 17.5 hectare artificial hill, also known as a tell, which was formed over many centuries of human habitation. It was also positioned this way to oversee the control of maritime trade routes in the region. It overlooks the sea and offers a commanding view of the surrounding area. The fort served as a vital trading hub due to its proximity to the sea and its location along ancient trade routes. It provided protection for the settlements and served as a center for commercial and cultural activities, and as a result, the fort witnessed significant prosperity during its prime. The architecture of the Bahrain Fort is characterized by its distinctive Islamic fortification style. The site contains multiple layers of buildings, defensive walls, towers, and other structures that reflect the different historical periods of occupation. The fort's layout indicates the existence of a sophisticated urban settlement within its vicinity. The fortification system includes thick stone walls, defensive towers, and gates. The walls were constructed using locally sourced materials such as coral stone and limestone. The unique construction techniques employed by the ancient builders, including the use of lime mortar, have been contributed to the fort's preservation over the centuries. Excavations at the Bahrain Fort have uncovered artifacts such as pottery, jewelry, coins, tools, and burial mounds, shedding light on the cultural and economic activities of the ancient inhabitants. This site also includes an on-site museum, the Bahrain Fort Museum, which displays a variety of artifacts and provides further insight into the history of the area. These discoveries have shed light on the economic, cultural, and trading relationships that Bahrain had with neighboring civilizations throughout history. Within the fort's complex, there are also traces of various functional areas, including residential quarters, administrative buildings, public spaces, and places of worship. These structures provide insights into the daily life, social organization, and religious practices of the inhabitants during different historical periods. The Bahrain Fort contains various rooms and structures that serve different purposes throughout its history. While the exact function of each room may not be known with certainty, archaeological evidence and historical context provides some insights into their potential uses. Here are some of the rooms commonly found within the fort. Living quarters. The fort likely had designated areas for residential purposes. These rooms would have been used as living spaces for the inhabitants, providing shelter and accommodation for their families. These living quarters might have included sleeping areas, kitchens, and storage spaces. Administration buildings. As a fortified complex, the Bahrain Fort would have required administrative spaces to manage the affairs of the settlement. These rooms could have served as offices, meeting rooms, or places where official records and documents were kept. Assembly halls. Large open spaces or halls within the fort could have been used for community gatherings, ceremonies, or religious rituals. These areas might have accommodated a significant number of people and served as important social and cultural centers. Workshops. The fort may have contained rooms or designated areas for artisans and craftsmen to carry out their work. These workshops could have been used for activities such as pottery making, metalworking, or textile production. Storage rooms. Given the fort's role as a trading hub, storage rooms would have been essential for storing goods, provisions, and supplies. These rooms would have provided secure spaces for storing items such as foodstuffs, textiles, or precious materials. Guard rooms. Towers and rooms situated along the fort's defensive walls may have served as guard posts. They would have housed the fort's guards and provided vantage points for monitoring the surroundings and defending the fort against potential threats. Ritual spaces. The fort may have contained spaces dedicated to religious or ritual practices. These rooms could have been used for ceremonies, offerings, or worship, reflecting the spiritual beliefs and practices of the inhabitants during different time periods. It's important to note that the specific layout and functions of the rooms within the Bahrain Fort can vary across different historical periods. As archaeological research continues and more discoveries are made, our understanding of the fort's architecture and functions of the rooms may evolve. This fort remains an important cultural and historical landmark in Bahrain, attracting visitors from around the world. It serves as a testament to the rich heritage of the region and provides valuable archaeological evidence of the early civilizations that once thrived in the area. During my visit, the fort was free to enter, but the museum cost 2 BD, or about $5. I think it's a little bit more than $5 for foreigners, or 1 BD for GCC citizens, which are citizens from Gulf Coast countries. The hours were from 8 to 6 p.m., 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. of course, but that may change due to a holiday or some other event. There aren't any services out there except for a bathroom, so make sure to bring some water and a little bite to eat if needed.